All right, guys, welcome back. We're here with Stephen Lautens, new president of TRU Precious Metals, effective February 2022. Stephen, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Josh.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Listen, you're joining Joel to advance, obviously, TRU's flagship project, the Golden Rose project in the Central Newfoundland Gold Belt. We really wanted to have you on today. You're new to the story. I wanted to give shareholders and prospective guys a little chance to learn more about you and your background. So we were just talking, you were talking about how you've been in the mining industry since 2004. Like, walk us through that. What have you been up to since then?
Well, sure. Before the mining business, I was in the tech business. I was vice president of a small private technology company that was here just north of the city of Toronto in Markham. And after I was doing business development for them. And after a couple of years, we built it up enough that we attracted the third largest software company in the world to buy it. And so I sort of went into a little bit of early retirement at that point. But about 2 years later, I had an opportunity to work with a gold company that had a property in China. It was a TSX-listed company, actually TSXV, that graduated to the TSX as it got bigger. And was with it. I said, I'll do this for 6 months or so. And I was with them for almost 9 years. It was the longest overnight success story I think there's ever been in the gold business. It had a property in Western China, and it was an interesting time to be in China. We were developing a very, very large sulfide deposit in Western China, and I did investor relations, I did corporate communications, but I got to know the gold business really, really well. Since it was an early stage project and it was all hands on deck. And ultimately, it was also purchased by a Chinese national company, an all cash deal. I think it was about $260 million that they paid for it. And that led me sort of to my next little idle period of semi-retirement. But I was lured out of retirement again by, a chance meeting with a friend who had a property in Cambodia. And it was, again, a gold property in Cambodia, early stage. And I worked there as business development, again, small management team. So we all did everything. You get to know a project really, really well if it's a small team like that. And eventually they ended up in the oil and gas business. And then along comes TRU.
Interesting. So yeah, so walk me through that. So why TRU? Why join them now? What excited you so much about them?
Well, I mean, when you're looking at an early stage project, I mean, there's really three things you look at, actually. You look at the people behind it, you look at the property itself, and you look at the jurisdiction. I had avoided Canadian jurisdictions before because there can be an awful lot of stakeholder entanglements. Especially if you're in the north, you have to deal with all kinds of different groups. And one of the things that impressed me about Newfoundland was that there are no those kind of stakeholder entanglements. There isn't really anybody who lays claim to any of the property. It's it's accessible. We have a highway that actually goes through TRU's property. It's on a very, very prospective and proven gold belt, a big fault system that runs diagonally across the island of Newfoundland. And there are great neighbors. So you've got Matador and you've got Marathon on either side of the TRU property. And geologically, it looked really, really interesting as well. I mean, one of the things is you get to dabble in geology. I mean, not a geologist, but you get to dabble in geology. And the geology for TRU really looked impressive. And then, of course, there's the team. And you've had Joel on the show before. He is great. He's assembled a great team. I was really impressed with the people on the team who have experience in the industry. Barry Green is a great geologist. He's made quite a name for himself in the Newfoundland area. He has quite a following. Smart guy, knows his rocks. And one of the things that really sold me on TRU originally was they were on a show. They were doing a little talk promo thing, and the person who was leading the interview made some pretty impressive claims about the TRU property, and Barry kind of walked it back a little bit. He's a very honest geologist. I mean, he said, yes, this is an impressive property, but one step at a time. And I thought, these are good, honest people who understand that the market has too many people who wave their arms in it, and they're prepared to do the hard work, put it in, and reap the benefits of a trustworthy reputation in the market. So those are the things that attracted me to TRU in the first place.
No, absolutely. I think that's well said. But what can we expect from you here over the next few months?
Well, one of the first things that I'm doing is working with the TRU team to put together a package of investor relation assets. That includes a revamp of the website, looking at the way our little things like the PowerPoints and the handouts and those sorts of things, to be able to make those a little more investor friendly, a little more investor accessible, and then to get them out to the world. So that's working with some of our IR providers, some of our contacts, some of our existing investors, to be able to make TRU more investor friendly, and to make the TRU story, which is a great story, a little more accessible to the non-geologist.
Oh, absolutely. And so obviously, going into, again, some of the news flow, we're all aware of the massive delays in the assay labs. But can we expect any drill results coming in the next few weeks or months, or what's the plan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are, as you said, there's one assay lab for all of Newfoundland. And kind of the good news is there's so much activity in Newfoundland that they're overwhelmed. I mean, it really is a bit of a gold rush going on there, and everyone's getting their samples there. We are slowly getting some new results. And as soon as we have enough results to be able to package them up and tell a story with them, we will be releasing them in batches of holes as we receive them. But so there will be news. We did have news just come out the other day that we have a major IP project going on, and it's interesting work. It's not mostly the industry goes on IP. I don't really care. This is actually really interesting, cutting edge IP. It's wireless, so it's done really quickly. You don't have to get on the ground. You don't have to cut down trees. And it is a very sophisticated 3D modeling that other companies have used very successfully to identify the best targets. So we have that going on. There's going to be a season of soil sampling and mapping that's going on. And like I say, we do expect to have drills. We have 20 holes that are still outstanding. We've released 2 of them. One of the holes gave us almost 10 meters of over 2 grams a ton material in it. So we are on a structure, and we're anxious to see what the remaining 20 holes have in it, and we will be releasing them as soon as the lab can get it back to us. And our geologists are calling the lab pretty much daily to see if they can move up our samples in the queue so we can release them quickly, because we know our investors are looking forward to seeing that.
No, absolutely, and I appreciate the transparency there. I think it's a really helpful update. Well, Steven, it seems like you're investing in the right things. You clearly have a wealth of you have knowledge in the space here, and I think you're a fantastic addition to TRU. Obviously, very excited to see where this goes. More excited to see those results in the coming weeks as they get released from the labs and no longer held hostage, so we can see what's really underground there. Really look forward to seeing that Golden Rose project advance as well, and getting more updates from you, and to seeing that transformation of TRU. So thanks again for joining us today.
Well, thank you. I look forward to coming back and giving you an update.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.